Hi, everyone. If you're watching this, this is for a review before you retake the SGO. So we took the SGO sometime last week, but I wanted to go over the responses before you retook it again. And looking back at your study guides, a lot of people had the wrong answers for their study guides, which would explain why your test answers were wrong. So you may need to go over them as well. But I'm just going to go quickly review some of these cartoons once again. And if you have questions, ask us. All right. So this first cartoon is Bostonians paying the excise man. This is from 1774. The Bostonian, um, meaning the people were from Boston. Now, you may recall that the Boston Tea Party, which was caused by the Tea Act, was in on December 16th of 1773. You have a reference to that here because you see people dumping out tea off the ship. Okay, so first off, you're thinking Boston Tea Party. You see Boston, you see ships, you see tea, you see the date, which is shortly after the Boston Tea Party. They are torturing this man. He is a British tax collector. Now, some people wrote in your study guide, which wasn't even a test question, how they were paying so much more because of this tax on tea. That really isn't true. They weren't paying more, but it was a matter of that tax they felt was still unfair because it was limiting the tea they could buy and it was taxed regardless. So it was just about unfair taxation, not so much about the amount of the taxation. You see some things in here. You notice the Liberty Tree. The Liberty Tree, which I think I put on your study guide, is significant for several reasons, right? Obviously, it's a symbol there. This was an elm tree that stood in Boston, near Boston Commons, and it was in the years right before the Revolution. So in 1765, the colonists staged their first act of defiance against the British there. So it sort of became symbolic of, revolting against the British. The area around it became known as Liberty Hall, and it stayed up until British troops and loyalists took it down in 1775 during the Revolution. It was actually inspired by the Stamp Act. Remember, in the beginning of the year, we did the orders of the different taxes, and the Stamp Act was one of the earliest one in 1765. You see, there's also like a noose there, right? So what do you think is being poured down his throat if they're protesting the tea tax? Well, then it's most likely tea, right? So not only is he tarred and feathered, which is painful, but hot tea is being poured down his throat, which is a form of torture in itself. Oops. All right. So that's that one. Next, we have this one. And in the study guide, I asked you guys, what is the name of this cartoon? And a lot of people put Join or Die. Now, they may look like the right answer because it says Join or Die, but that's not the right answer. I'm not going to tell you the answer. I'm going to make you look this up. All right? I want you to sort of know that, it's not just what you see here. Look at the different parts of the snake that stands for the different colonies. This was published in the Pennsylvania Gazette by Benjamin Franklin. It was the first known political cartoon, and it's basically saying us colonies need to stick together, right? Because they felt of themselves as very independent at the time. But he's saying if we don't band together, the British are going to crush us. So this was really one of our early stages of unification, and Ben Franklin was a big fan of that. So I mentioned the Stamp Act of 1765. So chronologically, this is actually older than the one with the Boston Tea Party. The Stamp Act did not last long, not even a year, because the Stamp Act Congress was made to fight against it. So which is why the Stamp Act is being personified as a dead infant, right? Because it didn't make it even a year. So this is before the Revolutionary War, right? It's one of the things leading up to the Revolutionary War. This keeps going back again. My apologies. All right, go back and look at those questions anyway again. All right, this cartoon we went over a lot in class. The United States is symbolized by the bald eagle with the shield. Notice that the size of him is significant. The author is questioning Jefferson's support of France. Everyone knew that Jefferson liked France. He lived in France. He had lots of French linens and a French chef at Monticello. But this says alter to French despotism. So you have a French reference there as well. Let's see, you have God, which is the eye looking down, making sure that the eagle snatches the Constitution, or I'm sorry, the Declaration. No, it was the Constitution. Away from Jefferson, right? Because so he didn't burn it in the fire, because that's what prevents us from being a despotic nation, our laws, right? Now, I don't think Jefferson would burn the Declaration, because remember, he helped write it. So if you were going between Declaration and Constitution, that could have been a thought process to help you out. Okay, we have this cartoon from 1784. So you know that that's after the Revolutionary War from your options, right? War of 1812 when it makes sense. Civil War is not to the 1860s. Salem witch trials is many, many years before. It mentions different countries here. You see the British, you see French, you see Native Americans. You don't see Germans. I think that's what the question was about. And this was made shortly before a constitutional convention. So that should have just been like knowing basically the order of events of our country would help here. This, a boxing match or another bloody nose for John Bull. This is from 1813. John Bull symbolizes England. He is basically like the Uncle Sam, I guess you would say, of England. And it dealt with the War of 1812. And that's James Madison on the right. He was president during that war. All right, we went over this cartoon pretty extensively in class as well. Remember, it's about Mexico and the Mexican War. It suggests how much Mexico lost the war and how much it suffered from it. Also shows that the people suffered from the war, from westward expansion, from the but this cartoon is specifically about suffering from the war. Okay. On this cartoon, we did a review in class real day. We went over the main ideas of it. We mentioned that that's President Polk, right? On the right. Size is significant here. You know, why is he so much taller? Symbolism obviously is here. A little bit of humor with the hot soup and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Don't ask me what's the name of that cartoon. I mean, if you really, really can't find it, let me know. But I want you guys to put some effort in this yourself. Look at the study guide, okay? Like I said, some people had wrong answers. So if you think, wait, did I put the wrong answer here? Well, then ask me about it, okay? And I'm sure you'll do much better this time. So good luck.